Everything you've been told about female desire is a lie. Women don't fall in love with looks, money, or status. They get attached to something deeper. Today I'll reveal the raw truth about what women really want and how to become the man they crave but rarely find. Women don't fall in love with status. They don't fall in love with muscles, height, or money. Not in the way you think. The biggest mistake men make is assuming that ticking all the boxes on paper will spark emotional attachment. But emotional attachment is not logical. It's visceral, it's instinctual, and it's based on how she feels around you, not what you bring to the table. A woman falls in love not because of what you show her, but because of what she senses in you. What you communicate without saying a word. A woman becomes attached when she senses that you live in your own reality. That you are a man completely at peace with himself, not needing her approval, not chasing her attention. Because that kind of energy is rare. That's the kind of energy that signals safety. And paradoxically, the moment she feels emotionally safe, she begins to invest. Not in your looks, not in your resume, but in you, the grounded, unshakable center of gravity you become. You become that by embracing the core truth. You don't need to be liked. That's where the freedom begins. The man who is unaffected by social pressure is the man who draws the most attention. Not because he's loud, not because he's trying, but because he radiates certainty. While the world spins in confusion, he remains still. He doesn't explain himself. He doesn't overshare. He doesn't seek connection. He is the connection. What women truly desire, what creates obsession, is a sense of emotional elevation. When she's with you, do her emotions expand? Do you create a space where she can feel more deeply, more vividly, more alive? The men who do this don't rely on scripts or tactics. They're present. They speak slowly, they observe, they respond with clarity, and they lead the interaction without hesitation because they're in tune with their own intuition. Here's the real secret. Most women aren't even fully conscious of what makes them feel attached. They'll tell you it was your smile, or your eyes, or your sense of humor. But beneath that, what they really experienced was the emotional landscape you invited them into. You made them feel something new, something different. And once they feel that with you, they can't unfeel it. They want more. But most men never reach this level because they're too busy posturing, too busy trying to prove they're good enough. They're in their own heads, trying to calculate the next move, trying to impress her, trying to mirror her energy to create compatibility. But that doesn't create polarity. It doesn't create desire. Women don't want another version of themselves. They want a man. A grounded, dominant, emotionally sovereign man who can stand firm in his truth no matter what. You cannot fake this. You cannot memorize it. You cannot intellectualize your way into being magnetic. You embody it. And embodiment only comes from detachment, from the radical willingness to lose her rather than lose yourself. That's where your power is. Women get attached when they feel like they're getting access to something other women don't have. Not because you tell them they're special, but because they have to earn that special place in your world. You don't give it away. You don't pedestalize. You don't chase. The moment she senses that your attention is freely available, it loses all value. But when she has to qualify herself to you, when she has to earn your interest, that's when the emotional hooks begin to dig deep. This is why men who are too available, too eager, too emotionally open from the beginning rarely succeed in building attraction. Because there is no challenge, no tension, no mystery. You gave her the full emotional download before she even invested. You skipped the journey, and without the journey, there is no attachment. Desire is not built through comfort. It's built through uncertainty, curiosity, and contrast. The most powerful position you can hold is that of a man who is both available and untouchable. You can share your presence, but never your emotional need. You can connect deeply, but never seek connection as a form of validation. She doesn't want you to need her. She wants you to want her, but in a way that shows you would still thrive without her. That you are complete with or without her presence. That your life is already rich, already full, already meaningful, and she's simply been invited into your frame. That's what creates emotional gravity. Let's talk about status, because most guys still think status means wealth, looks, social clout. But status to a woman is social proof. It's the unspoken judgment of others when they look at you. It's how people respond to your words. It's the way you move in a room. Are others pulled toward your energy? Are you spoken of with respect or indifference? Do people naturally look to you as a leader, or do you try to assert dominance through force? True status is silent. It's invisible. It is the residue of inner conviction. When a woman sees that other women want you, but you don't chase any of them, your value skyrockets in her eyes. Not because she's manipulative or shallow, but because in that moment, you've signaled abundance. And abundance is security. If you have options and still choose her, that choice means something. It carries weight. It creates impact. Now let's go deeper into the emotional realm. Women are emotional creatures by design. They don't connect logically. They connect through energy, through tone, through pacing, through emotional safety. If your presence is chaotic, needy, or overly intense, she can't relax into her feminine. You must bring the calm. You must bring the certainty. You must lead her emotions, not mirror them. If she's nervous, you remain calm. If she's unsure, you stay grounded. If she tests you, you respond playfully, not defensively. This is emotional leadership, and it is everything. A woman's tests are not games. They are requests for leadership. When she teases, when she pushes back, when she creates friction, she's not trying to reject you. She's trying to feel you, to feel your strength, to feel your groundedness. Every test is her subconscious asking, can I trust this man to hold his frame when life gets chaotic? Fail the test, and you become just another boy pretending to be a man. Pass the test, and she feels safe enough to open her heart. Now here's a paradox. A woman will never admit she wants a man who can walk away from her at any moment. But that's exactly what she craves. She wants a man so secure, so centered in himself, that her presence is a bonus, not a requirement. That's the only way she can fully surrender into love. When she knows she's not the source of your happiness, but rather the receiver of it. This is why women fall in love with men who don't need them. Because that energy says, I choose you, but I don't need you to feel whole. That's the energy of the grounded masculine. And that's the only energy that can hold the storm of the feminine. Now let's talk about sex. Most men view sex as the goal, the end game, the finish line. But the moment you start seeing sex as the prize, you give all your power away. Because now, she holds the keys to your identity. Now her yes validates your worth. That is the root of all neediness. But when you are indifferent to sex, when your focus is on connection, on presence, on experience, that's when she starts wanting to seduce you. Not because you played a game, but because she feels your detachment. And that detachment tells her this man is different. Now you're in her head. Now she's wondering why you're not making the usual moves. Now she's chasing you. And now you hold the power. The ultimate power is in saying no. Saying no to attention. Saying no to validation. Saying no to sex if it doesn't serve your frame. This is the highest signal of self-respect a man can give. When you can deny your own base desires, you become dangerous, untouchable. That's the moment she starts viewing you as a man of discipline. A man with standards. A man who doesn't fold under pressure, and that's rare. Now let's tie it together. You've been told to build the external, get the car, stack the cash, hit the gym, learn the lines, memorize the steps, and none of it's bad. Self-improvement is powerful. But ask yourself, why are you doing it? Is it to impress others? Is it to finally feel good enough? Is it to prove something to the world? Because if it is, you're building a mansion on a cracked foundation. And no matter how shiny the exterior, it will collapse. Eventually, she'll see through it. She'll sense the insecurity behind the status, and no amount of polish can hide the truth. The only transformation that matters is internal. When you feel powerful without proof. When you walk into a room knowing who you are. When you speak slowly, confidently, not to impress, but to express. When your identity is rooted in something unshakable. Not opinions, not trends, not women, but in your own code. Now you become the mountain, immovable, solid, present. And now she starts to orbit around you. Not because you manipulated her, not because you followed a script, but because she felt your depth. She tasted the strength in your silence. She saw the self-respect in your restraint. That's what creates obsession. That's what makes her think about you when you're gone. That's what makes her crave your approval without understanding why. So while other men chase women, you live in your purpose. While other men seek validation, you validate yourself. While other men try to impress, you simply are impressive. That's the difference. That's the shift. And once you see it, once you feel it, you can never go back.